You're listening to The Joe Cronin Show, a wrestling podcast with attitude.
Yesterday, I told you guys about how Raw's viewership was 25% down from last year. So at this point last year, 25% down. And as I do every year, I fought with the same morons who say that, oh, well, people are tuning out of TV, dude. They're cutting the cord. Oh, yeah? Then explain why all the people aren't there at Raw and SmackDown. Explain all the empty seats. People are dumb. 350,000 people didn't just cut the cord who watch Raw. All those same people are still watching other TV shows on their cable boxes, whether it's Verizon, Comcast, or whatever you have around the country. Yeah, I believe probably some of the audience has cut the cord, but that's not what's happening every year because the numbers for other shows aren't going down at the rate they're going down for WWE. With merch sales possibly down, I don't know about the merch numbers. I think the merch numbers are down. With attendance down and with viewership down, it's clear to see what's happening. And then, of course, then the next thing they always say is, oh, well, WWE's making the most money they've ever made. Yeah. We're not talking about money. We're talking about how many fans do they have. How many people are actually watching the show. That's what we're talking about. If you want to talk about money, that's different. See, I'm not complaining about money because they're killing it money-wise in revenue streams. It's basically like fans of MTV from the early 90s and the 80s saying, I don't watch anymore because there's no music. People began to complain about MTV in the 90s, that it turned into sort of a shock culture show instead of being all about music. And then certainly in the late 90s when it became more about pop and real life stuff and, you know, things like that in TV shows. And then certainly it became less and less about music until the point where it isn't music anymore. I wonder if something similar will happen with WWE, where eventually it will become worldwide entertainment and not World Wrestling Federation. It will be worldwide entertainment where they just make movies and shows and skits, and possibly a ring has something to do with it once in a while, or maybe nothing at all. Who knows? I mean, if I went back in time and I told you guys, would you believe that someday MTV won't play music anymore and it will basically be about pop culture and like my first abortion and my first pregnancy and my first period? If I told you guys about that, you'd think I was crazy back in the 80s. But it's not so crazy now. Music television has nothing to do with music television. Just like eventually WWE World Wrestling Entertainment may have nothing to do with wrestling. And they're going in that route. Last night's SmackDown, down 34% from last year. 34%. 1/4 of the audience. Or I'm sorry, that's more than 1/4. That's 1/3 of the audience. Right? Has left SmackDown since last year. I've been warning about this for 5 years. This is not new. But the same old people are still out there crying about, don't worry about it. Don't like it, don't watch it. They aren't. And they still aren't listening. They're still not listening to what I'm saying to you. We will continue to have this conversation, it feels like, year in and year out. Until what? We go from what we had when I first started the conversation. When I started this conversation, there was 3.9 million watching on cable nights. About 3.9 million to 4 million people were tuning in. When I first started this conversation, we watched that dwindle down to 3.7, that dwindled down to 3.6, to 3.5, to eventually 3.3, to this year, where you finally started seeing the dips, or last year where you started seeing the dips hit the 3.1s, and to now, where you've seen the dip reach 2.4, 5, and 6, and 7. And 2.3, I think, was the lowest rated of all of for a long time or forever earlier in the year. So when will you start to say, gee, maybe he's right? Will you start to say it around the 1.5 mark? Around the 1.8, the 1.3? Will you start to say it when WWE reaches the height of TNA at about 900,000 people watching? Will you start to say it when the WWE has 500,000 people left watching? In America. I mean, obviously worldwide there's people watching too. What will you say? What will you say? That being said, guys, we're live tonight for Out of Nowhere at 11 p.m. I want you to come back on YouTube, sign in, head over to the Joe Cronin Show tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, as always, for Out of Nowhere, episode 100 and something or other that I don't remember. We're going to have some surprises tonight. We're going to have some fun tonight. And then after all the wrestling talk, we'll even probably play some PUBG or something, or some kind of game, or who knows what will happen. I don't know. But we're going to take calls tonight. There's a lot sort of to discuss about what's going on. WWE clearly skipped Monday Night Raw after Mania and SmackDown after Mania and just used it as a promotion tool for the shake-up next week. So another scumbag move by WWE, delaying all of us, giving us blue balls, ruining the night after Mania's whole feel and vibe, and basically making it almost meaningless in a way. I don't know what else to say about that. What do you guys think? Are you happy? Do you love it? Are you ready? Are you not? Man, I wish I could be like somebody who loves it. I wish I loved this. God, I wish I loved it. I'd be entertained then. I really envy the people out there that just love every minute of this. But hey, I think I'll just go watch NXT TakeOver for the third time. I'll see you guys tonight for Out of Nowhere, live right here. See you tonight. Here's some other videos you guys might have missed. Hopefully they're popping up for you now. If not, go search my playlists and start binge watching the over 3,000-4,000 videos that I've uploaded since 2012 here. Or go find the first time Tommy called the show in 2013 and laugh at him and pat him on the back virtually on Twitter. Give him some love. See you tonight.